children's message unintentionally last time.
There's only one Sylvia here today.
Right, so it's easy. Okay, so we do have Sylvia. Extended in for the kids. All right, so of course today is Palm Sunday, and I can remember when I sat in this pew over here on Palm Sunday, the part I loved most about Palm Sunday was, first slide, the donkey. And that's all I really cared about as a kid. That's just what I wanted to know. I wanted to know all about the donkey during Palm Sunday. So I'm getting to fulfill this desire to talk about the donkey today in the children's message here on Palm Sunday at St. Luke. Okay, next slide. So, of course, the question we're going to answer today is, why do donkeys, some donkeys, not all donkeys, but some donkeys have a cross on their back? So you can see there's a cross there. I'm first going to give you the genetic answer to it, and then we'll talk about the biblical answer. The genetic answer is that four-legged herbivores like horses and donkeys and deer, right, they are prey animals. So something wants to eat them. So the best way to avoid being eaten is either to run really fast and or not be seen, because if they can't see you, they can't eat you. So think of like zebras who have stripes, okay, and even deer have a form of camouflage. Long time ago, before probably donkeys were domesticated, they probably had some form of stripes to be camouflaged, and that's how they hid from predators. Now that is the genetic answer to why donkeys have a cross on their back. It's sort of a genetic, it's a leftover from their time when they used to have all full camouflage. Of course, like everything else, there's a biblical answer to it. And there's a Bible story that is not included in your Bible, kind of got pushed out, but it's from about 1,500 years ago about why donkeys have a cross on their back. And that's the story I'm going to tell to you today. I won't pull up the last slide till the end here, okay? All right, so it goes like this, and I, of course, am going to embellish this story with a few modern flares and touches just to make it more relatable and entertaining. All right, so a long time ago, about approximately 2,000 years ago, there's a little farm outside of Jerusalem, all right? And there's a dad there and a mom and two kids, a daughter and a young boy, okay? And Dad is sitting at the breakfast table one day and he's looking at all the bills with rising inflation costs, right? Rising fuel costs and high taxes. He looks at the kids and says, look, there's this tiny little donkey outside. It's a runt. It's no good. It can't do any of the farm work. We got to get rid of it. It's a real hay burner. And that's true. Donkeys are hay burners. They will eat everything they can, okay? And he said, so I think we're going to have to put it down. Of course, the kids are like, no, Dad, you can't get rid of the donkey. That's Tiny Tim. We love Tiny Tim the donkey, okay? And Dad says, well, you got to get rid of the donkey. And I don't know how you're going to get rid of this tiny little thing because it's useless. And they said, well, we'll get rid of it. So the daughter and the little young boy, they take the donkey, good morning, and they take the donkey out to the road. And they take a little sign. They're going to say, free. They're going to put it out by the road, tie it there, and they have a little sign that says free, because they know they can't sell this thing. And down the road come two guys, okay, and they look like they're looking for something. These guys are looking around, and they spot this donkey and the little girl and the little boy, and they come running up. They're like, we need this donkey right now. And the kids are like, why? They're like, our boss told us that we would find a donkey here and we're to just take it. And they're like, well, you don't have to take it. It's free. They're like, you could just take it. They're like, but we'll go to a good home. And the one man gets down on his knees like, listen, my boss is a really good guy. I assure you, he's going to take care of your donkey and a lot of other people. I promise you that. Okay, so they take the donkey, and the donkey, Tiny Tim, goes to his new master, who of course is named Yeshua. And Yeshua is how they would have pronounced Jesus 2,000 years ago. If you had gone back then and said, hey, I'm looking for Jesus, they would have said, we don't know who you're talking about. They pronounced the name Yeshua. And this man is incredibly kind to this little donkey. He pets him and he scratches his withers, and then they curry the donkey. They make him look really good. They feed him carrots. And then Yeshua gets on his back and they begin to ride into the city of Jerusalem. And of course, everybody is cheering. And Tiny Tim the donkey is so excited because he thought he would never be in the spotlight and have everybody cheering for him. He thinks this is the greatest thing I've ever been in. I'm in a big parade and everybody loves me. And he falls in love with his new master, Yeshua. And he stays with his new master for the time that the man spends in Jerusalem and continues to fall in love with him. But one day, some men come and they arrest Yeshua. And of course, because they arrest him, animal control from Jerusalem also shows up and they take Tiny Tim. And they take him to the Jerusalem pound and they put him in there with the stray dogs and the cats. Of course, Tiny Tim doesn't like that. And a couple days go past and then the donkey can hear people shouting how they're going to kill Yeshua. And he gets very upset by this. So it's like Homeward Bound, if you've ever seen the movie. the donkey breaks out, kicks open the gate, and runs out of the pound. All right, and he races through, gallops through these streets to find his master. And he finds him carrying a cross up a hill. All right, and there's people yelling and jeering and throwing things at his master, and the donkey is desperately trying to get to him because he wants to try and help him, maybe carry the cross, or maybe he could help free him, but he can't get through all the people. And they take him up to this hill and they crucify him. Of course, the donkey can't get to him, and it's just heartbreaking for this donkey that he cannot get to his master. And then once all the people go away, Tim, next slide. The donkey goes to the foot of the cross. And as the sun comes down, the shadow of the cross falls across the back of the donkey. And God emblazons the donkey and all donkeys ever since with the sign of the cross. Because the donkey was like a dog, a loyal dog that sat with his master to the very end. And that is the biblical answer. And that's actually a story from almost 1,500 years ago of why donkeys have a cross on their back. Dogs are man's best friend, but donkeys are God's best friend. Now, I tend to believe the genetic answer. I'll be quite honest on why donkeys have a cross on their back. But I stumbled upon a video the other day on YouTube about a very loyal donkey. A donkey that was almost like a dog. And I'm going to share this video to you. And after watching it, with God all things are possible. I have to admit that just maybe, a slight possibility 2,000 years ago, that donkey that Jesus rode into the city of Jerusalem, maybe he really was as loyal as a dog, and maybe he was there at the cross at the very end. Something to think about. Enjoy the video.
Here's your pillow. Get it. He has a lot of traits that are not a donkey trait. Like he wags his tail like a dog. He'll lick dishes out of the dishwasher when you're loading it. He'll drink out of the toilet. He fetches. He's a very confused little man. He doesn't know what he is. When I found Tiny Tim in the barn, I thought it was actually a rabbit. He was so small. To give you an idea how small he was, this was the size he was, like the size of a little stuffed animal. Tiny Tim should have weighed probably 50 to 60 pounds at birth, and he weighed less than 10. When I had taken him to the vet, they had found out that his liver wasn't functioning properly. The vet didn't know whether Tiny Tim would even survive. I decided that I would give him the best chance I could by bringing Tiny in the house and nursing him, feeding him by bottle. We started out feeding him every 20 minutes with a syringe, 24 hours a day. Did that for a week, and then it went from that to every 40 minutes and then every hour.
What are you doing? Yes. Yes. Yes, you are a good boy.
I initially hoped that we could reintroduce him outside, but because of his size, he would definitely be killed even by a real small donkey or a very small horse.
What are you doing?
I started to house train him, just kind of let him outside when the dogs were going out. And from then on, as soon as you said outside go pee-pee, he would go to the door with the dogs.
He's wanting to go outside, go pee-pee. Okay. Come on, guys, let's go pee-pee.
He was so much easier than a dog to train. I'll take you outside here and show you where he is. Hi, Tiny. Hi, Tiny. How are you? You spin. Spin. Good job. Good job. Tiny, you say yes? Yes, good boy. He's been with us 24/7 for over 8 months. He's like a little child. When I was away a couple days, come home and he greeted me and he was circling me and honking and going on like really excited. That's my baby. Hi. Did you miss Mommy? Did you miss Mommy? Did you? With my husband, he seems to be his pillow fight partner. Pillows have definitely been his passion. It started last summer. He would grab the pillows off the lawn furniture and throw them in the pool.
I know who got those cushions off. Did you do it? Yes.
don't do that. I think his best days total was 22 pillows in the pool in one day. He's crazy. The more you laugh at him, the more he shows off. He's quite the performer.